can see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining in.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Brian, and today it is Friday, October 11th, 2024, and welcome to episode 783 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee is strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter-free. Today, I am enjoying a light, a Silver Bullet blend from foodforestfarms.com, where you can get 10% off with the discount code LOTS10, and the shipping is always free. While you're there, check out the C4 Club. Do yourself a favor, check out C4 Club. Today, we're going to be talking about the little adventure I had yesterday and how community kind of helps to make that happen. Like, get me home. And since it's Friday, we'll talk a little bit of conspiracy stuff. We'll see what comes up. It's been a rough one, guys. Like a rough year. I don't know. Yesterday, I felt like I couldn't even, I can't make it 2 weeks without something going sideways. So we'll talk a little bit about what's going on. First, let's grab the live chat. Let's grab the live chat. See who's hanging out. Good morning, John Palmer. Good morning and good day to you, sir. Need some of this silver bullet to get me rolling. Good morning, Mike's Homestead. Thanks for popping in. Pip says, good morning. Is the vertical feed up? Yeah, I believe so. Let me check. Vertical stream is up and rolling. Noster is up and rolling. Hunter is over on Twitch. Twitch is up and rolling, and all of you are looking in here from YouTube. So that's good. All good to go. Off-Grid Ping, good morning to you. Hunter, like I said, over on Twitch. Rewilder Life says, vote for Kamala ad. Is it Kamala? Is it Kamala? Is it Kamala? I don't know what what it is. Good morning, Rachel. Thanks for stopping. Backwoods Butcher, good morning, Vietnam. I'm nowhere near the level of Adrian Cronauer by any means. Kyle's probably like, who's Adrian Cronauer? I thought it was Robin Williams. John Palmer says, good grief, Charlie Brown. Oh, guys. I'm to a point right now that I've resigned my camel toa. I'm on my way. I've resigned myself to just decide that the rest of my life is going to be a shit show. There's the hits just keep on rolling. I'm at a point where I'm like, what's next, and just anticipating something fucked up happening. Yesterday, Rewilder Life says, I cleaned up dog poop this morning, but I'm not at Brian level of shit the fan. Yeah, I mean, so yesterday, well, let's recap the last couple months. Starting in July, the camper got hit by lightning. Well, close enough that we took a major hit. We lost several systems in the RV, including internet, power, our DC side of our power, air conditioning, blah blah blah, on and on. And Hunter says it's a balance. Too much of a good time at SRF. Oh, dude, it started long before SRF, for sure. Good morning, Digger. Thanks for popping in. So the lightning strike, that was a 2 to 3 week. Hey, Courtney, how are you doing? 2 to 3 week adventure that it was not as bad as it could have been financially. it was very stressful and it sucked a lot. After that, a couple weeks after we got all recovered from that, finally got up and going, Corey and I both got sick with the COVIDs or some similar virus sickness where we couldn't get out of bed for, weeks. I think it was 2-week cycle before we were starting to get back to good. And then a little longer after that. Excuse me. I'm all congested this morning too. I don't know if allergies are blowing up. That would make sense. So then we both got over being sick and started banging back away at life. Banging back away at life and trying to get caught up, because all these things just send the to-do list into a spiral. Get done with being sick, start to get caught up and make some traction, and then the internet goes down again. Starlink went down again. That was a week and a half to it really rolled into 2-week adventure, because then we had Gully days, the work days out at Delinquents Gully, and then SRF. So it was just like it was a little over 2 weeks before I was back online. Well, that was earlier this week. Rolling through the week, I'm like, all right, I can finally take a breath. SRF is done. Work days at Delinquents Gully are done. I'm starting to get caught back up. I got some things that I was waiting till after SRF to kind of kick into gear. I'm way ahead on my workload for obligations out at Delinquents Gully, so I was going to be able to put a bunch of time into our spot, into the cabin that we're putting up, so we can go stay out there and take care of the property. So that's what I was going to do yesterday. Good morning, Canadian Farmstead, Chewy dog food commercial, and iPhones. Are you an Apple user? Or did they miss that one? I use Android, so they keep feeding me Apple commercials. Sorry, coffee ground or something in my coffee. Canadian Farmstead uses his iPod. So this week I was excited. I was slowing down. I got to a point where I was like, all right, I can breathe a little bit. I was going to take it easy this week and kind of roll through some things, kick some stuff off. I talked about it on Tim's show last night. There's a new podcast kind of in the works. It's not going to be much of a live thing. Wow, that's a nice big old zit on my face too. Interesting. It's like I'm 15 again. There's a new podcast kind of in the works. There's all sorts of stuff going on. And so I was kind of slow rolling into it this week, getting caught up a little bit and resting. Canadian Farmstead says he's got an iPod but an Android phone, and he also says need to get the creepy caretaker on the property by Halloween. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. So yesterday I was gonna go out. I wanted to get some water on the trees in the food forest that we installed the previous Friday. Carrie was hoping I could get a gallon of water per tree per week. Just to keep them rolling until in the time they go to dormant and drop their leaves. They're looking kind of crispy. We're going to definitely find out which trees are the strongest at this point. So I headed out to Delinquents Gully. John Palmer says, I keep getting ads for gifts for my daughter. I have no kids. Oh, let me mark that down to talk a little bit later during the conspiracy theory section. But and Canadian Farmstead says maybe they know something you don't. Maybe they do. I've read weirder things about the internet and their ability to tell things. So yesterday I was going to go out and water some plants. I was going to start pecking away at a solar setup little project I'm going to do. I haven't quite decided whether it's going to run a Starlink router or RV pump for some pressurized water. Haven't got that far yet. Basically, I need to set up the panel, the charge controller, and the battery, and then use it for whatever. I also have an inverter out there that I can use. But I stopped at Jamie's on the way in to grab some packages we had delivered. And so I pulled up, and Jamie was at work, and so I was just going to run over and grab some stuff. So I pull up next to his driveway, parallel to the road. I throw it in park. I jump out. I walk over to grab the package. Came back, got in the truck. We got a gear shift up on the steering wheel, where most of them are anymore. I guess some of them are down in the consoles again. But I pull down the gear shift. It comes out of park. It hits reverse, and then my hand just goes straight down all the way. It like released all resistance at all. The light stayed in reverse, like on the dash where it says what gear it's in. And I was like, that's weird. I put it back up, and it didn't feel like it caught on anything. I kind of messed around with it. I let off the brake, and the idle, I was going backwards. And I was on this hill, and I'm like, oh shit. So I hit the brakes. I kind of messed around with it a little bit. I ended up putting it in park. But the gear shift still said reversed on the dash. I was like, what the fuck? What? Why? So I killed the ignition, released the brake. I'm still rolling backwards. So it's stuck in reverse, basically. And now it's John Palmer said that sounds like linkage problem, and that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm really hoping. And so I put it in park and turned it off, and I went to turn it back on to see if I could mess with it some more, and it was like completely locked out. So the truck is seeing it the sensor is seeing it in reverse. The gear shift is in park. The steering wheel was kind of locked out, when you get in and you got the steering wheel locked, and you gotta use the ignition to kind of unlock it. Oh gosh. And so I'm like, what the fuck? So I put on the emergency brake, which God knows when the last time that was on. So who knows if it'll release, or I had to really crank it down pretty hard to get it to even engage and stop rolling the truck. I jump out of the truck. I grab a log that was sitting next to the road, and I chalked up the tire. And I went, oh shit, I have no service. What the fuck am I going to do now? John says the neutral safety switch. Yeah. So it's all jacked up. I don't really have any service in that area, and I looked down, and I happen to have 1 bar of 4G, and I looked at the time, and I was like, hey, Jamie, Jamie's on lunch. So I text Jamie real quick and tried to get credentials to get on there's somebody that has Starlink up in that area close to Jamie's, and he's able to jump on it every now and then. And I was like, hey, is there any way I could get that password? I need to get a hold of somebody to figure out what's going on with the truck. Jamie came through in the pinch. I got to thank Trey and Jamie to get me into comms again. And so I start the process of what the fuck do I do? I don't even know where there is I I don't think I said that. Backwoods Butcher says, I believe your exact words last week were, isn't it crazy that truck's still running? I don't think I said that. I don't fuck with shit like that. Corey's ready to come up here and smack me in the head before you even suggesting that. That is not, no, I wouldn't say that shit. I don't fuck with that in vehicles, man. I think you must have been mistaken. Backwood says 110%. I don't think so. Not running. Maybe I said something about like the bumpers falling off or something like that. Good morning, Jim over on Noster. Thanks for popping in. Glad you're okay and hope everything's going well. We walked out to the cars and I pointed at it. I don't know. Must have been a moment of weakness or something. Digger says he pinched a nerve. Haven't been able to stand or walk for 3 months now. Most days I can't even type. Happy retirement. John Palmer says he thinks he's trying to get me in trouble, and I think that I'm just gonna go with it. I'll have to have a private conversation with my wife afterwards. Hey, Digger, how'd you spend your retirement? I don't know, sitting there, can't even get up or walk around. I don't recall you saying the word voodoo. Backwoods says, I even said, don't put that voodoo on yourself. You must have been talking to someone else. Were you talking to Pip or somebody? Because I think you might have been in an altered state of mind. Anyway, I was able to get some interwebs. And we have AAA. Man, I don't know what the hell. Did something bite me? Something bit my face last night. Backwoods Butcher said we had mixed green salad at the cabin. So we have AAA. We've had AAA forever and forever. John Palmer's wondering if Corey bit me. Oh no, the mark would be much bigger if Corey bit me. He also remembers I said linkage is for pussies. Yep. So we had AAA. Has anybody used AAA lately? I'm glad I had. What's up, Martina? How we doing? Thanks for stopping. AAA is interesting now. So I called the number, and they said it's an automated thing. They're asking me like my account number and this, that, a few other questions, and then it's like, we just sent you a text message. Click on the link and you won't have to wait in the audio queue. And I'm sitting there going, whoa, is this good? Like, I'm glad I had internet service. I'm glad that I was able to scam on somebody's signal, because I wouldn't have never been able to do all of this shit. And I definitely wouldn't have been able to stay on hold with the cell signal that I had. So I click on the link. It was a really nice, smooth process where basically it pulled your location from your phone. You did a basic Google search of where you wanted to take it, or you could put in an address. It asked a few other questions, and it said submit. And like within 5 minutes, somebody called me, and they're like, "Hey, this is tow truck guy." Holy shit. He's like, this is tow truck. I'm about an hour to an hour and a half away from your location. If you can wait, I'll let them know I'm en route and I will head out. And I'm like, What the fuck else am I gonna do? I really wish I had a better option of not standing around here for an hour to hour and a half. So that's what I did. The guy came up and we were able to get it up on the flatbed, take it over to the shop that I've used a few times to get my oil changed here. They're recommended. They do good work. They're super nice. I called them and they're like, yeah, probably not this afternoon, but definitely get a look at it in the morning and see what we can do. If we got to get parts or things like that, we can at least know what's going on. Digger laying in a nurse. Oh, geez. You're listening to me in a nursing home? That's not good. Sucks laying here in a nursing home for rehab. Damn, man. You need to go back to work or something. Pip says, my uncle used a AAA a few weeks ago. Took 6 hours. 4 tow trucks declined after being dispatched. My tow truck driver was fantastic. I have nothing bad to say about Mike Soap says, hope you grabbed a shovel and worked on Jamie's pond. Jamie's pond's done, other than the fact that it's empty. And I did sit next to the pond in the shade because I had to be close enough to the signal to get it. So I was basically just like sitting out in the sun. So I kept moving closer to the pond to stay in the shade. But I have nothing bad to say about AAA. I have nothing bad to say about. I wish I remembered the name of the tow company. I think it was like H&M Tow. That guy was cool. He was good. He ended up giving me a ride home after we dropped it off the shop. He was heading the same direction. I was like, dude, you just dropped me off at the stop sign where you got to take a right, and I can walk the rest of the way. So that worked. I got excited. I started looking in my insurance stuff and AAA benefits and my insurance coverage because we went, when you only have a car and a camper, you can kind of go higher end on your insurance coverages. So I was like, oh, maybe there's some sort of rental coverage. And so I'm looking at my policy on my phone while I'm sitting there waiting. And it said, yeah, you got rental car policy. Rental car coverage. And I'm like, oh, sweet. That'll help if we have to rent a car. Hopefully we don't have to, but that'll be sweet. It'll at least cover some of it. And so I was excited. I tell Corey, I'm like, oh yeah, $50 a day, up to 30 days, blah, 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 and all this. And so then I kept looking further and further. And yeah, that's only if you get in an accident. I'm like, well, that was good thought. Maybe I can pay $1,000 deductible or whatever it is, $500 deductible and claim an accident and get a rental car. I got to run the numbers. Depends on how long the truck's going to be down, whether I was in an accident or not. Jamie says, should have sat in the chairs in front of Trey's camper. That's where I usually sit when interwebbing. Yeah, no. I've met him a few times. I'm not in the business of going sitting in people's front porch that I don't know. Just using their internet. Just using their internet. But the guy was right. He was just over an hour. It was really smooth. I'm glad we keep AAA. Corey's family has used it forever and ever and ever. And when we got married and we started dating, good morning, Michael Williams. Thanks for stopping in. When we started dating and ended up married, we've always carried AAA, and it's come in handy a bunch of times. It's definitely come in handy a bunch of times. So that's happy to have it that day. So so the truck's in the shop. Hopefully they call this morning and let me know that it was just a linkage that came loose. We didn't have to order any parts. Your truck, you can pick it up. We got the oil change and everything done. So come get it. That's the best case scenario. I don't even want to think about worst case scenarios at this point. So, John Palmer says I have similar service through insurance. I have roadside assistance through Progressive too, which is oddly enough. So there's this weird thing going on in the insurance industry with our RVers. They all realized that it was getting really popular for full-time RVers and stupid RVers that think that that think campers are made like vehicles and not recreational vehicles. And I have a feeling that it was claims that the headache wasn't worth it, and the financials didn't make sense, because it appears that about the only insurance company that will full-time RVers at this point is Progressive. They like, everybody dropped out. They canceled policies upon renewal. They changed policies. They did all sorts of things, and it really boiled down to, from what I see, Progressive is about your only choice. So that's kind of who shook out when we moved our residency to South Dakota. They came back with the best price, and then within 6 months, as I was following full-time RV groups and stuff still, it seemed like that's where everybody had to go, because all the other companies were dropping people. Not that they don't have camper insurance, but if you live in it full time, they won't cover you. So it sucks when you have a brand new camper and you have a loan against it and you have to have insurance, and nobody will cover you. Canadian Farmstead says CAA. I'm guessing that's the Canadian version of AAA. Saved my bacon from predatory tow truck drivers when I had an accident. AAA, John Palmer says AAA has good rates on insurance also. Yeah, we're in a different world here with the full-time RV thing. So it is what it is. Our rates went up significantly on the camper the last year, and I think it has a lot to do with that shift to everybody using or having to use Progressive. It is what it is. Conspiracy. So anyway, if we could get some solid positive vibes out there for the people over at Sardis Auto fixing up my truck and making it simple, quick, and easy. I'm really hoping they don't have to wait for parts, but I have a feeling that they don't have 2011 F-250 gear shift linkages sitting around just waiting for me to roll in with her stuck in reverse. So we will see. It'll probably be a long weekend of getting stuff done here around Jim over on Noster says CAA, Communist Auto Association. And Canadian Farm says you need scrambling for the positive vibes. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Shouldn't be bad. It shouldn't be bad. Last night I was on a live with Tim, Toolman Tim Cook. It broadcast here on this channel and over on the Workshop Radio. It was the return of Workshop Radio after 2 months. Pip says, I'd assume it's a shifter cable bushing. Should be simple. God, Pip, I hope so. I was waiting for Pip to jump on, because he doesn't have his own shit to deal with a hurricane having gone through. I was hoping that Pip would pop on when I was describing my misery in the Telegram group and be like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's like an $8 fix." And I waited, and Pip never showed up. The time you want Pip to show up. Return to Workshop Radio last night. That was fun. Tim and I talked about Delinquent Scully, work days. SRF and all the stuff last night. And I want to let you guys know tonight at 6 Central, so an hour earlier than that, 6 Central tonight on my channel and Strong Roots Resources, I'll be chatting with Carrie Brown, and we're talking cops. We're going to start out with cops and some bullshit that my friend had to go through, and some gentle reminders to the audience about what to do when people get pulled over. What to do when you get pulled over. Does anybody in the comments know what you do when you get pulled over? If you don't know, be sure to show up tonight. It'll be here on the Strong Roots Resources, the Strong Roots Resources channel at 6 Central. Carrie has a story, and then we'll also dive into Gully Workdays from Carrie's perspective, who is designing the food forest and a lot of the plantings and gilding out at the Gully. So that'll be good, and we'll wrap up with SRF. We'll talk about everything. Carrie and Corey and I spent some time after Gully Days kind of sitting around and recapping. So it'll be fun. It's a good topic to talk about. And the cop situation, you're going to want to hear it. So make sure you tune in tonight, 6 Central, or find it after the fact. I will, I don't know if I'll end up releasing that in the audio feed, or if you're just going to have to pull it off of YouTube and check it out there. So we'll see. Tonight, Friday night. What else? I think that's all the sideways shit. I spent the majority of my day yesterday dealing with the truck thing. I was able to get a couple of notes down for some conspiracy stuff, and one of them's been sitting there for a long time. Pip, I don't know how. Were you bored during the hurricane and nobody was chatting, so you were just like scrolling back 2 or more weeks to a comment I made about a new conspiracy theory that I was going to put on the list? Because all of a sudden I get a notification on Telegram that somebody liked one of the, I don't know if you use Telegram. If you use Telegram and you're not in the Telegram chat for this show, definitely hit up t.me/LOTSchat, t.me/LOTSchat. It's a great companion to the show. Oh, when I woke up, we were green, and now I notice we're red. Oh no, what's going on? Bitcoin is down 0.04%, guys. It's on sale. 0.4100% sale currently going on over the last 24 hours. Join the Telegram chat, t.me/LOTSchat, t.me/LOTSchat. Pip says that one was up on top for some reason. Don't know. I guess it was meant to be. Pip. So Pip liked a comment back from I think it was like September 20th, where I said I had found a new conspiracy theory to add to the list for Fridays. So that's on the list. I'm going to circle back to one we talked about way long ago, that weird isn't quite conspiracy anymore. And then we'll talk about some ongoing stuff that ChatGPT thought that we should all know about. First one was let's hold off on Pips for a second. You guys remember when we talked about Diddy's The Diddler? way back before all the stories broke, before he was arrested, before he took off on his plane, all of that way back. The Lots Project morning show. Actually, it was before the shift in morning show. Way back. And maybe this is where my life started to spiral out of control. Maybe this is what Diddy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to break the news on you way back then, but I need to find the episode number. And it was a Friday episode. I had read an article and saw some TikToks about one of Diddy's former videographers or security guys or something that was around him all the time, and he was like, "Yo, this dude's messed up." He says, I was made to take video of some really really messed up stuff with Sean Combs, with the P Diddy Puff Daddy, and I talked about the history of sexual blackmail in this country, going back to Meyer Lansky and Hoover in the dress and the whole deal. We talked about how it's been an effective way to control people in this country when you get your blackmail on people that have an image to uphold, rappers, celebrities, tough guys. J. Edna Hoover, yes, Canadian farmstead. Did they teach you that in your Canadian history about J. Edna Hoover? So I brought that to you a long time ago and said, this is going to get interesting, guys, because it sounds like for a long time, old Diddler's been running some blackmail, some intel gathering, and shit's hitting the fan, guys. Shit's hitting the fan. Canadian Farmstead said we had a picture of him in a dress in our textbooks. Did you? I hope that's true. I hope that's true. Oh, that image is burned into my head now. So Diddy has been diddling and saving videos for a long time, guys. He's got a laundry list of people that he's got shit over their heads. And I think that people were just like, oh, he did it for his own gain. Here's a little expansion on that whole sexual blackmail conversation back in the day. Back in the day. It seems like so long ago. Somebody asked in a video I watched recently, would you be surprised if the Diddy thing disappears after the election? Would you be surprised if people started dropping off that list when possibly they threw their support behind a particular candidate? Would you be surprised if this was orchestrated by someone other than the diddler? And did you know that you could get KY jelly in 55-gallon drums? Oh, excuse me, baby oil in 55-gallon drums. Hunter says, I think I saw his court date set for May 5th next year. Except he'll be off with Jeffrey hanging out on he'll be hanging out with Mr. Epstein and all those other people that unalive themselves. That guy doesn't have a chance to make it till May 5th. Because yeah, I don't think that I just don't think that there's too many people affected that won't let that come out. Wait, what? Canadian Farmstead says, I love his lawyer trying to say Americans like to buy in bulk and Costco's close by. Right? Right? It's like in old school when they're getting the KY jelly for Blue's birthday party, and we can't get the 55-gallon drum. We can't get the 55-gallon drum. We're gonna have to get a bunch of 5 gallons. So I think the timing on everything rolling out almost feels orchestrated. Okay, so Canadian Farmstead is way more interested in the Diddy story than I am, because he says that he was trying to say that that Diddy bought it in bulk because Costco was close by, and then Costco replied and said he didn't get that shit here. I didn't know that they were digging into the whereabouts of the baby oil, where it came from. I guess that might have been during my internet dark period, when I was offline for pretty much a couple weeks. So the news you miss. But I feel like this is rolling out in a very orchestrated manner. Almost like distractions from something. Almost like they're waving the flag over here. Look at me. Another thing that's been distractions that I feel, and this is a bad one, and if this turns out to be true, there's some sick fucking people. There's lots of buzz right now about the hurricanes. And by the way, it looks like there's one rolling in, getting started behind Milton. So there's going to be more fun to come. But there's been a lot of videos, people coming out, making connections, connecting dots that really point to the fact that the hurricanes. Off-Grid Pink says Diddy's just a fall guy. Oh God, yeah. Oh, Sean Combs didn't put together a masterpiece of sexual blackmail. I'm sorry. He might be smart, he might be savvy. He didn't orchestrate this. I actually, when I did the story, I talked about some people in Sean Combs' life that kind of brought him along, and it appears that they groomed him for this very position. I don't know. I just don't see him doing this. I also saw right before I logged on that the real Kanye is back. Kanye West is back. He was in hiding until Diddy got arrested. Pip says, news break, Florida has oil discovered. Government says, oh, really? Watch this. So there's another hurricane supposedly forming. We had Helene. I apologize to all the Helenes out there that I was calling you Helen. Finally got it through my thick fucking head that HELENE is not Helen. Pip says, did you know that dry ice dumped into the hurricane ice supercharges hurricanes? I did not know that. Did you know that they dumped the ashes of some famous meteorologist or hurricane guy into the eye of Harvey or Milton? Harvey, that was a long time ago. Milton, while it was a Category 5 per his wishes. So, Pip, you probably have dead guy ashes all over you. Some meteorologist is just plastered all over Pip's truck in his driveway and shit. So the weather manipulation crowd is ringing is ringing the bell. For various reasons. I've come across a couple different theories. One, Pip is on the line of natural resources. North Carolina, talking lithium. They're talking all the silicone and quartz for production of silicone for semiconductors. And if you remember back a ways back when we had all the China drama, China with Mr. Trump and the all the trade shit, and we were having a circuit board shortage, production of circuit boards. You guys remember that when we couldn't get, it was COVID related. We couldn't get circuit boards for cars and car parts and all sorts of electronics. You know what one of the main components is, and what you would need to bring that production home is to really dig in on the silicone. And if you wanted to spur production of EVs and Elon's, you know, Tesla and all that, if you wanted to spur that production locally or domestically, you'd have to have a source for lithium. They're saying that all that shit's right in those mountains, kind of close to where they just made a disaster, where it probably isn't even worth rebuilding, probably isn't even inhabitable anymore. We probably should just go in, find those people, pick them up, and take them to a city, get them out of there. Maybe if we had a place like Florida that we could wipe off the map and turn back into a smart city, we could take the people from North Carolina and just pick them up and take them down. Take them down and have them populate the new smart cities that they're going to have to put up in Florida after getting battered by multiple hurricanes and their whole infrastructure is just demolished. That's crazy talk. This is all fun, guys. This isn't fact by any means. This is just dots that happen to pop up in my head, and I just try to connect them. They're just random thoughts. I can't say that they're true or fact or anything. Off-Grid Ping says, help us help you. Right. So there's that. I've seen that line of thinking. I've seen the natural resource eminent domain, or let's make it just so shitty they don't want to be there. I've seen that floated out there. I'm trying to figure out how Florida fits into it. I don't know. I'm assuming Pip was joking about the oil in Florida. Maybe not. Pip, is there actually oil in Florida, or were you being facetious? Trying to piece together the Florida part. They're saying that the next storm is kind of tracking towards Florida. I saw a guy that said that Milton was weakened by all the folks just going to work and thinking positively. I was down the Milton hole. I was way into Milton hole while I was looking into this stuff, guys. But is it weather manipulation? Is it? Oh, Pip says tons of oil offshore. Yeah, I'm guessing that Gulf is full of it. It's not like all the oil in Texas just stops where Texas is. Pip says BP oil spill. Yeah, I knew the Gulf. I didn't know if there was actually if it was under the landmass of Florida, because I imagine that accessing oil over land or under land, where you can transport everything by land, is a hell of a lot easier than doing it on an oil derrick out in the middle of the ocean. So yeah, I could see if they figured that shit out, or maybe directional boring down and over. What could go wrong there? What's going on, guys? What's the hurricane thing? Does the conspiracy side of the hurricane thing come up every time we have hurricanes? Every time we have multiple? Is this season actually out of the norm? I'm not a hurricane aficionado. I don't study them. I lived in New York growing up, and I lived in Minnesota, about as far away from fucking hurricanes as you can get. And they fade into memory. And somebody mentioned memory holding earlier in the show, and I don't recall. Hunter says the amount of hurricanes is not abnormal. Some of the radar is. Yeah, I was seeing a lot of the weird spiral, the weird spiral radars, the radars down by Antarctica, all sorts of odd stuff. I also saw one that it got messed up. I was watching it, and then a phone call came in on my phone, and then when I went back to watch it again, it was gone. And it was something about while you were all distracted by Milton, and it zoomed out. And I kind of want to look into it more today. I don't know if anybody else saw it, but there was just a massive storm that made Milton look like a dot on the ocean. And it was up by Greenland, I believe, up in that area. And I was like, wait, what? And I don't know if it was AI generated. I didn't dive in. Like I said, I don't know any of the actual facts. The volume was off, and when I went back to watch it again, it had refreshed. And you know, when you miss something and you don't see it or save it or favorite it, there's no way of finding it again on TikTok. It's just like gone into the ether. But there was something going on north while everybody was watching Milton track towards Florida and trying to decide it was going to go north or south. So I'll have to dig into that. But weather manipulation is it's an interesting topic. Our friend that joined us a couple of Fridays ago was talking that over in the UAE they openly talk about cloud seeding. They're starting to talk about it. They're starting to admit it over here. And is that just enough? Have they fucked with shit enough that it's causing these disruptions? Or how deep does it go? Did they fuck up? Did they start a chain of events that is just kind of multiplied on itself? Are they currently manipulating things, steering weather systems, guiding them? I don't know. Maybe I should try to get a hold of a meteorologist and have them come on the show and talk about how weather manipulation works. That's an interesting thought. So that was something I've been down the hole on right now. Is the weather manipulation is kind of in the forefront, especially if we have another hurricane come through. But back to Pip and him liking a comment up in the Telegram group. Hunter says you need to get a meteorologist and that someone with the conspiracy side and have a discussion. Yeah, I don't know if Ryan Hall y'all's about talking about weather manipulation. Maybe. Jamie says he's got a great short video of the steering of Helene. Yeah, I send it over. I'll watch it. But the topic Pip brought up in the Telegram group resurfaced, made sure I didn't forget, happened to be at the top of his feed. Was something I saw about Devil's Tower. And back when the eclipse was coming, we talked a lot about giants waking up and some weird shit like that. And Devil's Tower, a lot of people for a long time have said that it's a giant petrified tree trunk. That the tree had been harvested by God knows who. But that Devil's Tower, and if you've been out to see it, it's not small. That it looks like a tree trunk that's been harvested. I agree with that. I mean, I think it looks like one. But a guy that I saw a video before I posted that and jotted this down, um, John Palmer says this is the way climate change is caused by humans, right? So Devil's Tower, this guy surmises, is not a large petrified tree that's been cut down and left to be there as a reminder of our giant past. But it is a reminder of our giant past, just not a tree. He did some digging. Actually, he did some scoping on Google Earth. And he zoomed out. You know, with Bitcoin's up again, guys. Green. Off-Grid Ping says, I believe Devil's Tower is one of many large trees that they call mountains. Hell, even Nat Geo did a story on it. Hold on one second, because Pip says, is Devil's Tower the one from Close Encounters of the Third Kind? I'm not sure. It's out in Wyoming or some shit. But so the guy zoomed out and was looking at the geography in the region. And he started making some really interesting lines on the screen. And he started drawing some different shapes as he zoomed out. And what he ended up drawing was an enormous head. It was an enormous head of a crocodile. He also screen shared or put up on the screen known descriptions, hieroglyphs, photos, recreations, and skeletons of these prehistoric enormous crocodiles that were on the earth. What's up? How we doing over in the vertical feed? So he kept exploring, and he kept going through it, and he was showing in the mountain ranges, you can see the ridge, you can see the eye sockets, the snout, you can see where there would be teeth. And Devil's Tower actually has almost a twin on the other side. And what he surmises Devil's Tower is the remnants of a horn from these giant crocodiles. So they're giant crocodiles, and it's documented. You can find out that these prehistoric giant crocodiles had horns, small butt horns, like a goat almost. They've kind of dissipated over time to current crocodiles, but they still have that bump. They still have the two bumps where they are. And coincidentally, on his drawing of the crocodile's head, that this would be the remnants of, and it's pretty big, guys. If these things were swimming around on the earth, holy shit. It lines up with another one that would be on the other side of the head, and that one is still covered. It's covered by earth and whatnot, but you can see the outline on the earth or on the satellite image. So Devil's Tower, this guy is saying, isn't a tree. It isn't a large harvested petrified tree. It's actually the buried remnants of a enormous prehistoric crocodile head. It's the horn. Is he true? I don't know. He laid it out pretty succinctly with the map and drawing on it. Hunter says it's like 850 foot tall. Right. And it's not even, it's broken off from what they said it was. It's big. It's big. I will have to try to find that video. I'm sure I liked it, but I go through and I like all of Backwoods Butcher and some other folks TikTok, so they all pile up on top of all my conspiracy. Thanks, Kyle. I don't know. I must have to send it to myself or something to keep them straight. But I'll have to go back and find this video and share it over in the Telegram group and dive more into it. See if I can find some stuff that I can pull up and show during the show, and we'll kind of revisit this one. So, Devil's Tower, not for petrified trees anymore. Will the next hurricane wake up the giants? Did you guys see the video of the angel riding the electrical line? This one's a new one. I believe it was in Helene, or no, in Milton. Somebody claims to have gotten video of an electrical transformer that popped. And have you ever seen? If you've ever seen it, it's really a spectacular light show. But the transformer popped and it shorted out back down the line. And as the reflection was coming up off the line as it went across, it looked like an angel, big, tall, white robed figure with wings spread out behind it. It looked like it was riding a scooter across the line. Lots of people are saying AI generated, hologram, things like that. I'm kind of on that side of the thing after seeing it, but is shit going sideways, folks? Maybe I'm not gonna have to worry about my truck or my life being a disaster because it's just gonna all crumble around us. The universe is prepping me for the shit show that's about to ensue. Who knows? But angels riding electrical lines and storm manipulation, and yeah. One more eclipse and all the giants will wake up. Jim over there hashtagging the live stream on Noster. We got hashtag Devil's Tower, hashtag conspiracy, and hashtag signs. That was one of the conspiracies that was popped up this morning. Was somebody thinks that they figured out what God is. They figured out all the references to God, all the biblical references to God, and that God is actually water. I didn't dive too far into it. I was watching it on the surface here while I was having a sip of coffee before the show. I always kind of dive in a little bit more later on, and we'll bring it back. But he's surmising that God is water. Did we make a whole religion around water? Would it make sense if you're in more of a natural space, a spiritual space, a scientific space? Water transcends them all. John Palmer says hashtag Jesus is coming. Is he getting a handy or something? Hey, from Scotland, Mum Life 22, hashtag my ADHD addictions. I described myself on a podcast the other day as ADHD in a bottle. For sure. Thanks for stopping, Mum Life. You hit that like and subscribe. You'll definitely be fulfilled with your ADHD shortcomings in this channel. But we've discussed it before here about how it seems like all the major world religions and even minor world religions, they all kind of play off themselves. Same stories, different characters, same stories, slightly different plot lines. And as they age over the years, they as they age over the years, they kind of take different courses and have different sects and things like, not sex, sext, SECT, that kind of go down different paths with the beliefs. But it wouldn't be hard to believe if it all came from one source. Pip's wondering, so is the rain the big guy peeing? Well, I mean, when it's thunderstorms, it's the big guy bowling. Jim says 6'5" bottle of ADHD, right? It was funny. I get ADHD fucking ads on Facebook like crazy, like nonstop. Adult male. I remember what they call it. It's some they're trying to convince me that all my world's problems are from ADHD and that I probably need to take some drugs or something. John Palmer says, another dickhead, half-wit dumbass. Thanks, man. What's that say about you that you spend your mornings listening to me? I don't know. Anyway, guys, I was a little distracted yesterday. I was a little distracted last night, and was able to focus around, get Tim's show done, prep for Carrie's show tonight, and mine just it didn't happen this morning. I mean, we had a decent discussion, but I was hoping to bring you a bunch of new stuff, and it just didn't happen. I can't blame anybody but myself. But I had a little bit on my on my plate. John says he's listening to my show every day for science. Well, yay science, and without scientific study, I would have no listeners. So. Jesus. Oh God, guys, I gotta wrap it up today. I gotta get out of here. I gotta wait nervously for a phone call about the truck. Hopefully they can get that fixed today, and I can find my way over to the shop, pick it up, because I got a lot of shit I need to do. This was my week. This was my recovery week. I was being productive, but dialed back a little bit, and it was time to shift into high gear this weekend and then going into next week. But my shifter rubber broke, and now I'm stuck in reverse. What? This is no good. I gotta get out of here. I hope everybody had a great week. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. If you got a bunch of shit you gotta get done, knock it out of the park. Be sure to join that Telegram group, t.me/LOTSchat. t.me/LOTSchat. Soon we're going to be doing a giveaway. Jim says the shift has hit the fan. Jesus. Do you have power back, Jim? Because I don't know if you're over there in Florida and you don't have power and you're wasting your power on puns like that. Make better decisions. We'll be giving away a Blockstream Jade over in the Telegram group at some point. I'm just trying to figure out how to get people to participate and enter. What I should make you do to get into the drawing. But that's going to go more than likely through the Telegram group, because that's the easiest one to make it happen. So join it, t.me/LOTSchat. We have a good time. It's not for everybody, but join, see what's going on, and see if you like hanging out with the good folks over there. other than that, have an awesome weekend and get a bunch of stuff done. We'll circle back and talk with everybody on Monday.